Hi everybody, this is Bonnie from Bonnie's Creative Place StampingUp.net, and I'm here with card number 2 from our Autumn Goodness online workshop class, and this is for October 2020. If you like the video, could you hit the little like button? If you'd like to subscribe to my videos so you do not miss any more, there's a little pink square down in the right hand corner, and if you click that little square, it'll let you subscribe to all my other videos, and if you click the little bell, that will send you a little reminder. And I would appreciate anything if you could share, like, subscribe. That only makes it more so I can share videos with you that I love to do. So let's get started on this online class. So I'm going to zoom you back out. And there we go. Now, this is card number 2. This opens like this. Is this not a fun card? I had so much fun making this card. I'll tell you, it was a blast. So let's get started. In the meantime, I'm just going to set this one up here for reference for me. I'm going to put my sign off to the side. And let's get started. Now, all you had to do a bunch of prep work, as I've said in the previous videos. So all your prep work should be done, and these are all the items that we needed. And then you also needed a bunch of supplies. And all the measurements and everything are written in the tutorial that you got with your bundle. So I'm not going to give measurements out. I'm just going to go ahead with what you need. So you needed a piece of Whisper White. And this is the base. Then we needed a piece of So Saffron, or soft suede. That will go right there. And then you needed 2 other pieces of soft suede. Then you needed Designer Series paper. And you needed 2 other pieces of Designer Series paper. Then you needed, what this was in the measurements, I will tell you this. These were 11 inches long by 1.5. And then all I did was cut them in half at 5.5, so that for packaging, and it's easier for you guys to cut them out one at a time for the fence. So we're going to cut these out as a fence. And then you would have gotten a Label Me Love punch like this. And you'll get that, and that's for your greeting. So let's get started first on putting all these papers together. So let's see. It was so hard to decide whether I wanted to color this paper or not, because there we go. This paper was lovely, and I didn't know if I really wanted to cover it up that pretty on that side, but I really wanted this side. So sometimes you have to give and take a little, and this did not line up right where I wanted it. There we go. And then we could put this one down. I swear this tape and me, we have a love-hate. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Okay, then we'll put that down. And then we're going to take these 2 pieces and we're going to put them together. So now what we're going to do is we're going to set this aside for a minute while we cut out our fence. So we're going to bring in the Stampin' Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. We are going to be using the Autumn Wheelbarrow dies that come with your bundle. And we're just going to grab out the fence. Now we need some plates here. And the plates we're going to use is plate 1, plate 2, and then we have the magnetic plate, which is plate 5. And you cut right on, I haven't done a thing on this, but you cut right on the magnetic. So I'm going to put this on here this way this time because I did a bunch the other way. And it doesn't matter, you just need 4 of them and you've got more than enough. So we're just going to cut this right across. So now that we have all our little fences cut out, I've got a few little pieces still here. Now we're going to get some liquid glue. This is the liquid glue. It's a Tombow liquid glue that I always use from Stampin' Up. It's a wonderful glue. I just put a bunch of them upside down in a bottle and they were just sitting there, and I finally condensed them all down into one so that I could use them better, because it was quite hard to squeeze them out when it gets down to the bottom. Now I'm going to trim off the ends of these, and I'm going to overlap this just by 1 fence post. Whoops. By 1 fence post. Let me zoom in so you guys can see this better. So I'm just overlapping them by 1 fence post, so it's like that. Okay. And I'm going to do the same to the next. I'm going to do the same thing to all of them. Oh, I'm sorry if I was out of camera view. Did not mean to be. Sometimes, oops, well, I guess this one's going on top. Sometimes I don't realize when I zoom in what that does. Okay, so I'll zoom you guys back out. So now we have this great big long fence. And we're going to set this aside for a minute as we work on placing our other items down on the board. So over here on the first one, I have a little stack of corn stalks. So we're going to, I put these down, I'm just going to use this liquid glue. I put them down with that tape, but I'm struggling with that today, so I'm just going to use this for now for these pieces. And I put it down right about here. And then I took another little corn stalky thing, and I put this one right about here also. Then I took one of the pumpkins And I ended up using Stampin' Dimensionals. And I set this one right here. Right about like that. Okay. Now, I'm going to bring in the wheelbarrow. Now, I want to talk to you guys a little bit what I decided here on this wheelbarrow. First of all, when I did this one, I just used the die and it gave it an embossing effect on the back of it. And it was nice, but I thought it blended in too much. So as you could see, when I stamped it, it kind of stood out more. So I changed it up and I stamped it. But I will give you guys an extra piece in case you want to do this one, what I did on this one. So I'm going to give you enough so that you can do the stamped and the embossed if you want. And then you had to cut out this little wagon wheel, and I put that right here. So just put a little glue in the center of that one, and I put this down like this. I just kind of held it there for a second. Then I took the flowers and I went ahead and I ran some glue along. Am I off camera? I sure am. I'm sorry. I put the wheel on. If you missed that, sorry. And then I ran a little glue along here. And then I went ahead and just stuck my flowers on top of that. And I stuck that down. Okay. And then I end up sticking this right here, just like that. Just don't go past that fold. Whatever you do, don't go past the fold, okay? And I'm just going to use the liquid glue. And a little bit of this glue goes a long way, so you don't have to like overdo it. Just getting to the end of those bottles, so which is wonderful. Okay. All right. Now comes the fun part, putting this down. So from here, from this point to this point, which is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fence posts over, you put liquid glue down on all of those, because that brings you right up to your score line. Okay, so for these 7 posts, I'm going to add liquid glue just like that. And then I'm going to add liquid glue down this little bit. Just like that. Then I'm going to pick this back up. And I'm lining the edge of this. Let me see if I zoom you in a little bit. Try not to zoom in too much. I don't want you to miss anything. The edge of this all the way over to this score line, which was the 7 post. And then we're just going to put it down, just like that. Okay? And now, this is what it looks like so far. Well, now you got to get your score mark in here, which it's funny because you needed it 5.5, so it's right about here. So I laid my card out like this, and it's right here. So I just went like this and put my own score mark because there's really no right or wrong. And actually you want it to go the other way, but I did it this way first. Then I went back like this because it was just simpler and easier to do it that way. Now this is more fence posts than you're going to need. Here you'll end up, there's more fence posts here than you'll need. You'll end up cutting quite a little bit of this fence post off. But before we do that, we have to figure out where our next score mark is going to be. And so how I did that was like this. I just sat it up against the fence, against my card. And I just decided where I liked it. And then I just kind of folded it in. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. This was right here. Right here. I just want to re-show you this. This was right here. And we scored it back. Then I went in like this and decided where do I want my fence. They can all be different in this situation because you really can't score them. Because what it recommends is that you score it at 5.5, which is right here. And then they recommend that you score half of the 5.5. And with doing a fence post, it's harder to do it that way. So what I did was I scored it here, and then I just kind of sat this up against it, just like I'm doing right here. And I figured, okay, that looks about good to me. And then I just kind of closed this up. And when I did it, I made a little mark. So now my fence post is scored right there. That's where my score mark's going to be. And then I ended up bringing this post out to the edge of my, I wish I had another angle. I ended up bringing this right out to the edge of this. So let me see how many fence posts you are in. And this one, it looks like I didn't even need to use this last post. So you got 4 and you probably don't, well, just one more maybe. Because I end up putting it right down at the leg here. Yeah, I like it right there though. Okay. No two are exactly the same. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that one will get cut off probably. So actually, yeah, 7 fence posts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fence posts if you count that one, which will be cutting off. That you're going to put down here. Actually, we're going to put 8. I'm going to make that one fit right on there. So you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fence posts from here over. So this is what it'll look like. God, you guys can't even see it. Oh, okay, so this is what it's going to look like. You're going to glue down from this fold mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fence posts. Okay? So let's add the glue to the back of these 8 fence posts from the fold. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'll add a little bit of glue along here. Okay. And we're going to bring it over. And right about the edge, well, mine is, on this one, mine is past the wheelbarrow leg, but that's okay. No two will be the same for this fence. And then we're just going to kind of hold it down. Let me zoom you back out. I don't know if you guys are catching all this. I feel bad. Okay, and then we'll zoom you back out, or then we'll press them all down. So I did 5.5, and then I scored it, and then I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fence posts again, and I scored again. So you glue down 7 fence posts, then you measure out to the 5.5 mark, which we did, and you score there. Then you're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 again. And you're going to score right there. It means you're just going to pinch them together because there's no real scoring. And then you're going to glue down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fence posts. Now we're going to trim the excess off here. Whew, I hope that made sense. I mean, you have quite a little bit of fence posts left, but no two are the same because this one I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it all depends. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 posts at the fold here. And then that. So I guess it all depends on how you fold it, how you lay your fence posts down, and all that. So, and that's how this turned out. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one right on the front of this. So to do that, what I did was I added some glue to the fence post because I figured that would be the easiest part, or the easiest way. So I added some glue to this one because it kind of hid the whole thing. This one because it hid it. Down to the bottom of this one, and just a little bit on this one. So the 4 end fence post, and then I added a little bit of glue on this, just this side. Don't put anything on this side because it's going to be hanging over a little bit. You don't want that. Okay. Don't mess around with my post there. And then we got our little, isn't this cool? I love this card. This is one of my favorite cards that we did. Okay, and now we're going to stamp our greeting here. And the greeting I picked was Golden Leaves, Chilly Air, Autumn Beauty Everywhere. And I took the soft suede. And you could add more to this. You could add another something right here. You could go a little more crazy with this if you want. And then I just attached it. Thought I smeared it, and I didn't want to put the glue on the back. If I had, I could have used it on the other side. And then when you send this to somebody, you can write on the back of it any little information or whatever. But I love cards like this. It's interactive. You get to set it up. You get to display it if you've got autumn stuff. I make Christmas cards that are like very intricate, and I put them out with my Christmas decor because I like them and I think they're pretty. So this is a nice fall card that I probably will add there too. So that's how we did card number 2. And like I said, if you like, subscribe. If you want any of these products, you can go to bonniescreativeplace.stampinup.net. Thank you guys, and I will chat with you soon.